obviously the promotion against Villa was an amazing moment for you. I enjoyed hearing you talk to the club website about the Flair incident and stuff, and you were a massive part of that 23 match unbeaten run. What was that following summer like? It's an iconic summer, and I think Fulham is still kind of maybe paying the price in some ways after it now. It was such a huge amount of spending, such a big change in the personnel at the club, and in the goalkeeper department, we saw Sergio Rico and Fabry come in. What was that like for you? Because, you know, there were the lads that got used to the Premier League, and whilst I imagine you all expect some change and some new faces, some kind of impressive names from abroad to come in, but it was such a sea of change that summer. And yeah, as I said, I think Fulham have never quite recovered from that in lots of ways. So what was it like in the dressing room seeing the likes of, you know, kind of Seri and Gisa, and then from your perspective, Rico and Fabry come to Hotspur Park?
It was a lot. I think none of us sort of had been in that position before, where we'd just been promoted, and you know, the team I think was so strong as a core. And I think one of the main sort of things that season was obviously keeping Mitro, and obviously the club managed to do that. And I think we had a really good spine, and I think losing Fredo was a massive, massive loss. I think Fredo was key to the way Slav played. And I think when Fredo didn't re-sign, I think that was a massive loss to us as players, because his pace would get us out of a lot of trouble sometimes. But
yeah,
listen, I can sit here and say, you know, that season we spent too much money, we brought in too many players, but then also at the same time, you know, like, you need to invest. You're going from a championship to a Premier League, you know, strap-like team, and it is different. And again, like, we've seen it this season, like, obviously the club tried to learn from probably the season before, and, you know, maybe sort of go a different way, and obviously invested well. I think they invested well again this season, but it is tough. You know, even West Brom have found that, you know, Sheffield United obviously have suffered the same fate in their second season syndrome, and it's a tough league. You know, and there is a massive difference, especially from them top boys to obviously us. I know it's a game of football, and obviously everyone likes the underdog, but sometimes it's just relentless, and you never really sort of know when your next game's coming from. But yeah, from a personal point of view, and I'm sure probably a lot of the lads would say that, I think we've done so well that previous season. A lot of us felt like we deserved the chance. A lot of us never really got a chance to begin with. Some of us did get a chance and just ended up sort of making our way in to get a chance. But yeah, there was a lot. And yeah, personally for me, obviously it was a mad roller coaster. I think probably 2 weeks before the start of the season, I was probably going on loan, because they had bought Fabry in. Then they were bringing Sergio Rico in, and I was like, well, you know, where does that leave me here? I was like, I don't want to go and be third choice, especially after just playing sort of some of the best football that I've played from a goalkeeping point of view the previous season. So I was getting ready to go get out on loan, and then I think first game Palace, and I think maybe the second game was Spurs maybe. I was actually number 3 I wasn't involved in the Crystal Palace game because I was injured, but then number 3 for the Spurs game. And then like 2 days later, Slav called me and was like, oh, listen, I'm gonna put you in against Burnley. And I was ready, because I'd obviously, it was a short summer because obviously the playoffs, so I was ready. And I was a little bit hungry because obviously I'd just been sort of put down a peg or two, and obviously I felt like I deserved a chance. But, you know, it was one of them things. It was, that in itself was probably a huge moment for me, because never in a million years did I think, one, I'd played for Fulham when I was younger, and 2, let alone in the Premier League. So that for me was massive. And that is probably the, maybe what, I wouldn't say a mistake because it wasn't a mistake, but maybe that's what was maybe part of the reason why a lot of them boys sort of struggled that season, because we had gone from a team of really hungry lads, knowing especially how the way Slav wanted to play. And I think we'd done all right in them first couple of games. Like, I think if you look to this season and compare this season to last season, I don't know whether getting rid of Slav that sort of early on was the right thing to do. But at the same time, like I said, it's such a tough league. we ended up bringing in a sort of super experienced manager in Ranieri, which everyone at the time thought was a great appointment on paper, and it probably was. You know, obviously he's won the Premier League sort of with multiple teams. He's obviously done everything in the game that he could probably do from a manager's point of view. So, you know, it was a smart decision. But, you know, just things haven't worked out for whatever reason. I don't think you can put the blame on only 1-2 people. I think from a collective point of view, things haven't gone to plan. Players haven't gone to plan. Performances haven't gone to plan. And that is small margins in the Premier League, like sort of we see last season. Obviously, I wasn't there, but, you know, at one point we all thought, you know, Fulham were going to get out of it. And obviously small margins and sort of last-minute goals against certain teams and stuff like that end up keeping you down there. So it is small margins, but, you know, like I said, I don't think you can put the blame on one person.